In the quiet town of Maplewood, famous for its annual fair, an important auction was taking place at the grand, bustling fairground where many dreamt of new beginnings for cherished horses. A large and eager crowd had gathered beneath bright banners and fluttering flags to watch the exciting bidding for prize competition horses known for their strength and grace. Among the impressive creatures on display was a majestic horse named Orion, who had once dazzled audiences with his speed and brilliant performance in numerous high-profile competitions. In his younger days, Orion had earned many ribbons and trophies that celebrated his talent, and stories of his past victories were fondly remembered by those who had witnessed his incredible feats. Yet on this chilly morning at the auction, the excitement was dampened by whispers and knowing glances, as many believed that Orion was now too old and tired to compete at the highest level. Despite his impressive record and the pride that marked his every stride, when the auctioneer called for bids on Orion, not a single raise of the hand or shout of enthusiasm was heard from the gathered crowd. Instead, other horses with shiny coats and youthful vigor were eagerly chosen, leaving Orion standing silently in the shadows with an air of quiet resignation. The atmosphere in the barn was filled with a mixture of disappointment and skepticism, as all around, voices murmured that Orion's time in the spotlight might have finally come to an end. Just as the auction was drawing to a close and the final lot was being wrapped up by the organizers, a soft yet determined voice broke through the murmur of the crowd to ask about his fate. This gentle voice belonged to a young girl named Lily, whose tender heart and steadfast belief in second chances shone brightly despite the many doubts around her. Lily's passion for horses was clear to everyone who saw her, as she had spent countless hours reading books, watching shows, and dreaming about the magnificent lives of these noble creatures. Even when others dismissed her ideas as fanciful and unrealistic, she remained confident that every horse, regardless of age or past performance, deserved the warmth and care of a loving home. With determination sparkling in her eyes, Lily made it a daily routine to visit the fairground after her school lessons and observe every horse with a focused, caring gaze. During these visits, she noticed how Orion's tired eyes and slow steps hinted at a deep sadness that no one else seemed to acknowledge or address in the crowded barn. Deep in her heart, Lily believed that Orion still held the courage and strength of a champion, waiting silently for someone to see beyond his quiet exterior. One breezy afternoon, summoning all her courage despite her tender age, Lily approached the busy auction manager, her voice trembling only slightly as she spoke. She politely asked if she could have a few moments to discuss the future of Orion, explaining that she saw in him a spirit that could be revived with a little care and affection. The busy manager, initially caught off guard by the young girl's earnest plea, paused for a moment to truly listen to the heartfelt words coming from someone so sincere. Lily calmly described how every living creature deserves a chance to shine again, sharing her simple yet powerful belief that no one should be abandoned because of past setbacks. Her words, filled with innocent wisdom and heartfelt hope, made the manager remember the many tales of lost potential and the promise that still lay hidden in Orion's eyes. Deep down, he too recalled days when horses like Orion had filled the arenas with dazzling performances and brought joy and inspiration to many spectators. Moved by Lily's sincere compassion and the gentle determination in her voice, the manager agreed to take a closer look at Orion and consider a different future for him. Later that morning, with a sense of renewed purpose, Lily met Orion behind the barn in the soft glow of the early sun, where the air was crisp and full of promise. With careful steps, she approached the magnificent horse, her small hand reaching out to gently stroke his weathered mane, hoping to kindle a spark in his tired heart. At that quiet moment, the connection between the young girl and Orion deepened, as if a long-forgotten warmth began to glow between them in the cool morning light. Lily whispered kind words into the still air, assuring Orion that she would stand by him and help him rediscover the joy and excitement of his youthful days. Her gentle tone and unwavering belief in his hidden strength made Orion lift his head slightly, as though he understood that a new chapter was beginning just for him. Every word that Lily spoke seemed to breathe life back into the tired body of the once proud competition horse, stirring memories of past brilliance. The stable, filled with old straw and the familiar scent of horses, suddenly felt more like a sanctuary where hope was rekindled through the simple act of care. Word of Lily's tender act of kindness traveled quickly among the workers at the barn, who began to see Orion not as a discarded competitor, but as a potential beacon of resilience. Over the following days, Lily visited Orion without fail, teaching him gentle exercises and simple commands with a clear, steady voice and patient guidance. She brought along warm hay and sweet apples, small tokens of affection that made Orion feel appreciated and reminded him of the comforts of a caring home. With time, The weathered eyes of the majestic horse started to shine ever so slightly as the burdens of rejection began to lift and his spirit grew renewed. Each session with Lily was like a gentle reminder that life still held beauty and opportunity, no matter how many disappointments had come before. The transformation was slow but steady, and soon some of the workers began to smile at how Orion's posture became proud and his steps grew more lively. Curious onlookers and local neighbors, hearing of the gentle bond between the girl and the horse, began to gather near the barn to watch with hopeful hearts. Every visit from Lily created a ripple of inspiration that spread through the town, reminding everyone that even the most downtrodden could rise again with love. The auction that had once dismissed Orion faded into memory, replaced by the promise of a new beginning shaped by determination and gentle care. As the days grew longer and the warm season settled over Maplewood, Orion's strength returned and his graceful movements recalled his former competitive glory. The small town, touched by Lily's compassion and a revival of Orion's dignity, began to believe that miracles could happen when a young heart leads the way. After Lily's early kindness began to show its magic, the stable became a place of quiet miracles where everyone started to notice subtle changes in Orion's slow but determined steps. Every morning, as the first light of dawn painted the sky in soft hues of orange and pink, Lily led Orion outside for gentle exercises that made his legs move with a purpose he had long forgotten. With each passing day, the old horse's eyes sparkled a little brighter, and his tired hooves found new strength on the soft earth of the barnyard. Neighbors who once overlooked Orion now paused to watch him walk steadily, whispering that the mighty competitor might yet reclaim a small piece of his past glory. The stable hands, who had seen many horses come and go, remarked in quiet voices about how Lily's daily care had rekindled a gentle fire in Orion's heart. As the sun climbed higher, its warm rays mixed with the cool whisper of the morning breeze, creating an atmosphere where hope and renewal danced together. Orion's slow progress was marked by a graceful determination that even the youngest stable worker admired as he adjusted to a rhythm that was both careful and steady. Lily's gentle encouragement and kind words, spoken in a soft, steady tone, acted like a healing balm for the horse's aching limbs and weary spirit. Each step that Orion took along the dusty path outside the stable was a quiet defiance against years of neglect and the harsh judgment of previous auctions. The sound of his hoofbeats, once heavy with despair, now resonated with a tentative joy that filled the still air of the farm with the promise of recovery. In the afternoons, when the heat mellowed into a comfortable warmth, Lily spent hours grooming Orion, brushing his mane and whispering stories of happier days. Her stories were simple yet powerful, recounting adventures of brave horses that had overcome obstacles and found honor in unexpected journeys. With every stroke of the brush and every soft word, the community began to see that the rejected horse was slowly becoming a symbol of second chances. Other children from the town gathered near the stable to listen to Lily's gentle narrative and watch as Orion's posture improved with each tender pat and careful encouragement. The once silent stable now echoed with the sound of quiet laughter and small exclamations of wonder at the remarkable changes unfolding before everyone's eyes. As days turned into weeks, the transformation in Orion was not only physical but also emotional, with his eyes reflecting a deep appreciation for the compassionate care he received. The townsfolk, who had once dismissed Orion as past his prime, started speaking of him in whispers of admiration and hope, sharing his story with renewed interest. Even the auctioneer, who had once failed to see Orion's worth, found himself pausing in thought as he observed the horse's gradual recovery on a bright, crisp afternoon. During one calm day, a group of local reporters visited the stable after hearing about the revival of the old champion, intrigued by the quiet miracle unfolding there. They took notes and photos, impressed by the remarkable bond that had formed between a gentle girl and a once-forgotten horse whose dignity was being restored. The local newspaper soon published an article highlighting Orion's steady transformation, declaring it a heartwarming story of hope that had captivated the community. In the soft glow of evening, as shadows lengthened across the stable floor, villagers gathered near the barn to share in the quiet celebration of Orion's renewed spirit. Even the grumpiest of neighbors found themselves smiling, warmed by the simple truth that every living being deserved a chance to shine again. Lily continued her routine with unwavering dedication, her small hands steady as she led Orion through gentle exercises that built his strength and confidence day by day. The horse, once defined by his lost victories and harsh past, now trod with a dignified calmness that spoke of new beginnings and small yet significant victories. Community members began to volunteer at the stable, offering to help with chores and sharing ideas to transform the old barn into a sanctuary for healing and growth. The transformation of the once-forgotten horse inspired many in the town, leading to the revival of other abandoned spaces and neglected talents that were long overlooked. With each gentle nudge and careful step, Orion demonstrated that perseverance and tender care could mend even the most wounded of spirits. His steady progress became a daily reminder that hope could be rekindled in the most unexpected places, whether in a humble stable or a forgotten heart. Lily's father, who had once been skeptical about the value of giving a rejected animal a second chance, began to help at the stable, impressed by the tangible changes he witnessed every day. Even the local veterinarian, called in to check on Orion's health, marveled at the visible improvements in his condition, noting how his old wounds had nearly faded into memory. As the weeks passed, Orion's gait became more confident, and he started to show a playful side that had been hidden beneath layers of past disappointments. In the warm afternoons, while the gentle hum of conversation filled the air, Orion would occasionally trot in a small circle, a sight that sent waves of quiet excitement through onlookers. His movements, once hesitant and burdened by sorrow, began to express a simple joy that resonated deeply with everyone who had come to care for him. The young girl and the wise old horse formed a bond that went beyond words, communicating in glances and soft touches that said more than any spoken sentence. Their relationship became a living lesson for the town's children, teaching them that empathy and kindness were the keys to unlocking even the most hidden treasures in life. The stable, once a quiet reminder of lost dreams, transformed into a vibrant haven where every creature was seen and valued for the beauty it still held within. The story of Orion's new life spread beyond the town, reaching distant communities where people were touched by the message of hope and the power of gentle care. In time, Orion's once rejected presence at an auction became a distant memory, replaced by the bright legacy of a horse who had triumphed over neglect through the pure love of a child. As twilight descended on the peaceful farm, the soft chorus of contented sighs and quiet smiles celebrated the powerful truth that even the most unlikely heroes could rise again through compassion and unwavering belief. In the weeks after Orion's inspiring recovery, the whole town buzzed with excitement as every neighbor, friend, and visitor eagerly talked about the amazing comeback of the horse that had once been rejected at a busy auction. People from nearby farms and small towns traveled to see how Orion's strong body and gentle eyes now shone with a confidence born of second chances and tender care. Lily, smiling broadly and filled with quiet pride, led groups of curious onlookers to the stable, where she lovingly explained how every kind gesture can heal broken spirits. Neighbors gathered in small clusters around the fence of the stable, marveling at how Orion now moved with renewed grace and a steady, determined gait that told a tale of resilience. Local trainers and even the town's old competition judges came to witness the transformation, noting that the horse's calm energy and focused steps revealed a hidden strength that had been waiting to be awakened. One caring trainer, who was well known for his gentle methods, offered to work with Orion to refine his natural movements by introducing special exercises designed to improve both speed and balance. Lily welcomed this help with an open heart, confident that each new session of guidance and exercise was another step toward restoring the glory of a once great competitor. Under the patient instruction of the trainer, Orion began to learn a series of measured routines that mixed playful trots with brief, energetic sprints along the grassy arena. With every new routine practiced in the early morning light, Orion's movements gradually grew smoother, and his once hesitant steps turned into confident strides that whispered of past victories. The sight of the old horse gently trotting along a carefully marked track brought smiles to the faces of those who remembered how brilliant and accomplished he had been in his youth. Children from the local school, filled with wonder and admiration, cheered from the sidelines as they watched Orion move gracefully with a calm that belied his earlier rejection. Parents, teachers, and even skeptical onlookers were soon convinced that sometimes the heart can shine brighter than any trophy or medal, especially when given love and time. The heartwarming story of Orion's revival reached the ears of the local festival committee, who decided to invite him and Lily to be the stars of an upcoming annual celebration. This festival, famous for its colorful parades and lively music, was dedicated to sharing stories of hope, resilience, and the magic that comes from believing in a second chance. In preparation for the big event, Lily, with the help of her family, spent many long hours ensuring that Orion was well prepared and comfortable with the idea of performing in front of a large, supportive crowd. The stable buzzed with activity as caretakers, volunteers, and trainers worked together to create a warm, welcoming environment that would showcase Orion's remarkable comeback. On the morning of the festival, the air was crisp and filled with soft light as the town prepared to celebrate a day of joy, where every smile and heartfelt cheer was meant for Orion and his brave journey. Bright banners and cheerful music adorned the park where a simple yet sturdy fence had been set up to gently confine the performance area without taking away the natural charm of the celebration. With a heart full of hope, Lily led Orion into the festival grounds, and every step they took together seemed to echo a promise of renewal and the triumph of the human and animal spirit. As the excited crowd gathered near the performance area, the friendly announcer called out Orion's name in a warm tone that resonated through the festive atmosphere and stirred heartfelt cheers. Orion stepped forward slowly, his eyes soft and inviting, as if to say that every mark of pain in his past had been replaced by a promise of joy and the tenderness of a true friend. The trainer then demonstrated a series of simple yet graceful exercises, inviting Orion to show the new agility and strength that had blossomed from careful training and endless care. With each measured step and gentle turn, the majestic horse appeared to dance in perfect harmony with the soft notes of the background music playing in the open air. The crowd watched in awe as Orion responded to each command with a surprising ease that many had thought impossible after his long years of neglect and sorrow. Encouraging shouts and quiet words of support filled the park, creating an atmosphere where every sound mixed with the gentle clopping of hooves to form a living melody of hope. As children and adults alike clapped and cheered, Lily's proud smile grew even wider, for she knew that every kind word and every smiling face was a tribute to the power of compassion. Local reporters, inspired by the incredible sight before them, took notes and snapped photographs, determined to capture the story of Orion's triumphant return to the heart of the community. Newspaper articles soon followed, with every writer marveling at the extraordinary journey of a horse who had been reborn through the simple magic of nurturing love and relentless hope. The festival then continued with a parade of vivid costumes, twinkling lights, and the kind of joyful music that lifted everyone's hearts, even those who had once forgotten how to dream. Many elderly residents, recalling days of spirited competitions and fond memories of horses that once graced their past, felt a sense of nostalgia and renewed optimism watching Orion. Invitations for future events began to pour in, as local organizers planned additional small shows where Orion could continue to demonstrate his gentle prowess and resilient strength. Every new invitation filled Lily with excitement and deepened her belief that every being, no matter how lost they had been, deserved an opportunity to shine again. The entire town, now united by the touching story of the abandoned horse who had found a new life, felt that their community had grown stronger and kinder as a result. Each evening, as twilight descended softly over the fields and the stable grew quiet, townspeople would share stories of how Orion's return had sparked hope in even the most troubled hearts. The sense of togetherness that had been rekindled by this living miracle turned the once skeptical attitudes into firm beliefs that compassion and perseverance could change lives. Lily and Orion's bond became a living lesson for everyone, illustrating that when a community comes together to support one of its own, miracles are possible beyond measure. The story of the remarkable horse, once rejected and forgotten, was now celebrated in local gatherings, school lessons, and even in whispered hopes exchanged on quiet, starlit nights. Every gentle pat on Orion's mane and every encouraging word offered by a kind soul served as a powerful reminder that even the most neglected dreams could be revived with care. With each day that passed, the joyous transformation of Orion became a cherished symbol of the community's resilience and the unwavering strength found in unity and love. As the sun dipped below the horizon on that unforgettable festival day, the entire town joined in a silent promise that they would continue to nurture every living soul, knowing that every act of kindness had the power to spark a new beginning. After the festival, the town was filled with a new sense of wonder as the story of Orion's revival grew even brighter. The day after the big celebration, the morning sun shone brightly over Maplewood, inviting everyone to embrace a fresh start full of promise. Orion woke early and stretched his strong legs in the cool, gentle air outside the barn, ready for another day of recovery. Lily greeted him with a warm smile and a small basket filled with crisp apples and freshly baked bread, tokens of care that spoke of her hopeful heart. The stable manager, who had once doubted Orion's ability to change, now admired his improving strength and gentle manner with a look of genuine respect. News about Orion's steady progress had spread quickly throughout Maplewood and into neighboring towns, stirring excitement among those who had once known him only as a rejected champion. Inspired by the positive attention, Lily and her father arranged a visit to a respected horse clinic renowned for its kind treatment and specialized care for aged and injured animals. At the clinic, experienced veterinarians and trainers carefully examined Orion and offered simple, practical advice on further strengthening his body and spirit. The compassionate voices of the clinic staff soothed Orion's weary soul, making him feel safe and understood amid his ongoing recovery. As Orion listened to the gentle guidance, he seemed to realize that his new life held endless possibilities and brighter days ahead. Each reassuring pat on his soft side reminded Orion of the love that had revived him and fueled his determination to move beyond his past rejections. With Lily's steady hand on his reins, he began practicing the simple exercises prescribed by the caring clinic staff, each step building his confidence. The lead veterinarian explained that a balanced diet rich in fresh hay and nutritious grains was just as important as exercise, and Lily nodded with clear understanding. Day by day, small victories accumulated as Orion's gait grew stronger and his eyes shone with a spark that had been hidden for too long. Neighbors, initially timid to approach, soon gathered near the stable to witness the quiet miracles unfolding in each of Orion's graceful strides. The supportive community started visiting more often, each guest leaving with a renewed belief in the power of compassionate care. With each visitor, Orion's story of resurgence spread wider, becoming a beacon of hope for people who had once felt forgotten. Lily, bursting with pride, shared Orion's journey with anyone who would listen, explaining how gentle kindness could heal even the deepest wounds. The local school invited her to speak about responsibility and respect for all living creatures, and the children listened intently to her every word. In her simple language, she taught that every creature deserved a second chance, a lesson that brought smiles and nods of agreement from young and old alike. Slowly but surely, Orion's presence transformed the once dreary stable into a lively classroom where nature and compassion met in harmony. Encouraged by his progress, a few dedicated neighbors helped bring fresh hay, clean water, and simple tools to improve the stable's conditions further. This collective effort turned the barn into a nurturing haven, a place where every living being was treated with dignity and love. As weeks went by, Orion began to trot with a newfound confidence that promised many more days of joyous movement and gentle power. His soft, patient eyes told a story of battles fought and hope reclaimed, touching the hearts of everyone who looked at him. Local artists, inspired by his resilience, began sketching and painting portraits that captured both his strength and his tender vulnerability. Murals depicting his journey started to appear on the walls of the barn, a colorful reminder that every ending could spark a beautiful new beginning. Even the local radio station dedicated a special segment to recounting Orion's story, sharing his trials and triumphs with listeners every morning. Families from all over Maplewood began to plan visits to the stable, eager to see the living example of what love and care could truly accomplish. The improvement in Orion's physical strength was matched by the healing in his spirit, as he slowly shed the shadows of his troubled past. His steady progress reminded everyone that even those who have been once rejected deserve the chance to regain their former grace and dignity. Lily organized small gatherings at the stable where children could learn firsthand about the simple values of empathy, responsibility, and hope. These gatherings blossomed into community events where shared stories and laughter filled the air and created memories that would last a lifetime. In one such event, a kindly teacher explained how every small act of care contributed to the bigger picture of healing and renewal, using Orion as a prime example. Each visit to the stable brought forth stories of overcoming obstacles, inspiring many to see beyond failures and focus on the beauty of starting anew. The bond between Lily and Orion grew even deeper as they navigated this journey together, their friendship symbolizing the strength found in unity. Their story, simple yet profoundly touching, continued to spread through whispers and heartfelt conversations, making its mark on every corner of the town. The stable, once a quiet place of routine, became a vibrant center of hope where lessons in kindness were learned every day through the example of one resilient horse. Orion's renewed spirit and gentle nature taught the whole community that with persistence and love, even the most rejected soul could find a fresh start. As the golden sun set on another hopeful day in Maplewood, the community gathered in quiet celebration, united by the enduring lesson that every heartbeat counts when kindness leads the way. After the exciting events of the festival, the town of Maplewood entered a peaceful season where every sunrise reminded residents that hope can be reborn from even the darkest past. The gentle story of Orion and Lily continued to spread through every street and home, teaching everyone that a caring heart can heal old hurts and open new possibilities. Each morning, as the sun rose in brilliant hues of orange and pink, the townspeople gathered in quiet moments of reflection, recalling the strength it takes to forgive and start anew. Neighbors began to share small acts of kindness, from offering warm greetings to lending helping hands, as they learned that each gesture could change someone's day for the better. Children listened to the tale of Orion with wide eyes and hopeful smiles, imagining that even the saddest stories could have happy endings if given time and love. Local teachers incorporated Orion's journey into their lessons, showing that compassion and perseverance are just as important as academic lessons in making the world a better place. The old barn, once a symbol of neglect, was transformed into a cheerful community center where people gathered to celebrate art, music, and the spirit of second chances. Every week, lively music and gentle laughter filled the air at the community center as townsfolk came together to share their dreams and to honor the progress of a once-forgotten hero. Lily, whose bravery had touched every heart, continued her daily visits to Orion, her kind words and steady care deepening the bond that had saved his spirit. With every careful stroke of his mane and every soft pat on his side, Orion's eyes shone with gratitude, reflecting the healing power of consistent love. The inspiring transformation of the gentle horse spurred town meetings where leaders and citizens alike brainstormed ways to support others who were struggling in silence. Local newspapers printed heartfelt stories about Maplewood's renewed spirit, emphasizing that every small act of care contributed to the larger mosaic of community hope. Visitors from neighboring towns began to travel to Maplewood, curious to witness how a once-rejected horse became a living symbol of redemption through sheer kindness. Artists and musicians found inspiration in Orion's steady trot and Lily's unwavering smile, creating murals and soft melodies that celebrated resilience and new beginnings. The community center hosted workshops where people of all ages learned that helping one another can turn even a simple stable into a place of healing and joy. In the gentle glow of evening, families would sit together on porches, sharing stories of how a single compassionate act can start a ripple that touches countless lives. Elderly residents recall their own youth and remembered that many of the happiest memories were born from challenges overcome by mutual support and belief in change. The school organized art contests and storytelling events where the legend of Orion and Lily was retold in ways that brought laughter, tears, and optimism to every listener. Every picture drawn and every story written became a tribute to the enduring message that strength is found in unity and that every soul deserves a second chance. Community leaders collaborated to improve local facilities, creating safe and vibrant spaces where both people and animals could thrive under compassionate care. New programs were launched to mentor young residents in the arts, sports, and community service, inspired by the idea that each individual had the power to transform lives. The once somber stable now buzzed with energy as volunteers painted its walls with bright colors and filled its halls with laughter and shared purpose. Meetings at the community center were filled with determined plans to support local causes, proving that a town united by kindness can overcome any hardship. Local businesses joined the movement, sponsoring events and donating supplies to ensure that every citizen had the support needed to chase their dreams. Even during moments of quiet solitude, the gentle rhythm of life in Maplewood echoed the steady beat of Orion's hooves, reminding all that progress often comes from patience and care. As the seasons changed, the town blossomed with new energy, and neighbors worked together to plant community gardens that symbolized hope growing in rich, fertile soil. The story of a once-rejected competition horse was now a celebrated legend, told in hushed, reverent tones at community feasts and family dinners alike. Lily's courage and unwavering faith in the goodness of others became a beacon for everyone, showing that even the smallest heart can spark monumental change. The legacy of compassion that had been planted in Maplewood began to extend its branches far beyond the town limits, touching lives in nearby villages and towns. Every shared smile, every word of encouragement, and every volunteer hour wove together a fabric of love that made the community stronger and more connected. Local radio stations played soft, uplifting music each evening, interspersed with short messages of gratitude and hope that were inspired by Orion's journey. Community events grew larger and more inclusive, drawing in people from all walks of life who wanted to celebrate the triumph of kindness over hardship. Evening walks through the town became moments of reflection, as residents paused to appreciate the calm beauty of a world rebuilt on empathy and mutual respect. Children, inspired by the example set by Orion and Lily, learned that every living being has worth, and that even those who have experienced rejection can find love again. The old stories of disappointment faded away, replaced by new legends of recovery and the enduring power of a community that believes in the goodness of every heart. Neighbors organized regular cleanup days and community picnics, each event serving as a reminder that when people work together, challenges become stepping stones to a better future. The once somber memory of the auction floor was transformed into a cherished chapter in Maplewood's history, a story of transformation that warmed every listener's heart. As new challenges arose, the town faced them with a united spirit, always recalling that a helping hand and a kind word could turn any obstacle into an opportunity. The enduring tale of Orion and Lily was passed down through generations, becoming a guiding light for those who learned that no one is ever too broken to be mended by love. In the peaceful glow of the final sunset, Maplewood stood together as a family, embracing a future filled with promise, gratitude, and the unshakable belief that kindness would forever light the way. On a warm, sunny morning, the town gathered one last time to celebrate the new life of Orion and the courage of Lily. Everyone remembered how Orion was once left behind at a crowded auction. They recalled the day Lily reached out with her small yet determined voice to save him. The community saw that even a rejected horse could become a symbol of hope. Today, the air was filled with gratitude and excitement for every small victory. The townspeople smiled as they watched Orion trot slowly across the green field. His eyes shone with a gentle light that told the story of his journey. Lily stood proudly by his side, her heart full of joy. Neighbors gathered in the town square to applaud the deep bond they had witnessed. Parents explained the story to their children in simple, loving words. Everyone agreed that love can bring new life to forgotten souls. The memory of the auction faded into a lesson about care and respect. Orion's transformation had become a living example of second chances. The gentle rhythm of his hoofbeats filled the hearts of onlookers with hope. Lily's kind actions inspired the town to reach out to others in need. Local teachers used her story to teach about empathy and forgiveness. Artists painted murals that captured Orion's brave comeback. Musicians composed soft, happy songs about the power of caring. The community center displayed photos of Orion and Lily in a warm collage. People of all ages shared their dreams and celebrated the spirit of renewal. The town's elders smiled as they remembered their own moments of hope. Neighbors pledged to help anyone who felt alone or rejected. Every handshake and smile reminded them that no one is ever truly forgotten. The transformation of Orion had united the town as one big family. Volunteers organized events to support local animals in need. The caring lessons learned from Orion's story spread far and wide. News of Maplewood's miracle reached nearby towns and villages. Visitors came to witness the gentle magic that had revived a broken spirit. The town's hearts were lifted by the belief that every life matters. Stories of small kindnesses became the talk of every household. More people began to believe that courage can be found in the smallest of acts. The gentle bond between Lily and Orion reminded everyone to care for each other. In every corner of Maplewood, hope was the shining light that warmed the days. Community members shared their own stories of recovery and new beginnings. The simplicity of kindness turned challenges into opportunities. Every person present left with a renewed sense of purpose. The Festival of Hope became a lasting memory that would guide future days. Orion's steady trot continued to inspire those who saw him every morning. Lily's brave heart shone as a beacon of light, reminding all to never give up. As the sun set on that joyful day, the town of Maplewood celebrated a future built on love, hope, and the power of second chances. On a warm, sunny morning, the town gathered one last time to celebrate the new life of Orion and the courage of Lily. Everyone remembered how Orion was once left behind at a crowded auction. They recalled the day Lily reached out with her small yet determined voice to save him. The community saw that even a rejected horse could become a symbol of hope. Today, the air was filled with gratitude and excitement for every small victory. The townspeople smiled as they watched Orion trot slowly across the green field. His eyes shone with a gentle light that told the story of his journey. Lily stood proudly by his side, her heart full of joy. Neighbors gathered in the town square to applaud the deep bond they had witnessed. Parents explained the story to their children in simple, loving words. Everyone agreed that love can bring new life to forgotten souls. The memory of the auction faded into a lesson about care and respect. Orion's transformation had become a living example of second chances. The gentle rhythm of his hoofbeats filled the hearts of onlookers with hope. Lily's kind actions inspired the town to reach out to others in need. Local teachers used her story to teach about empathy and forgiveness. Artists painted murals that captured Orion's brave comeback. Musicians composed soft, happy songs about the power of caring. The community center displayed photos of Orion and Lily in a warm collage. People of all ages shared their dreams and celebrated the spirit of renewal. The town's elders smiled as they remembered their own moments of hope. Neighbors pledged to help anyone who felt alone or rejected. Every handshake and smile reminded them that no one is ever truly forgotten. The transformation of Orion had united the town as one big family. Volunteers organized events to support local animals in need. The caring lessons learned from Orion's story spread far and wide. News of Maplewood's miracle reached nearby towns and villages. Visitors came to witness the gentle magic that had revived a broken spirit. The town's hearts were lifted by the belief that every life matters. Stories of small kindnesses became the talk of every household. More people began to believe that courage can be found in the smallest of acts. The gentle bond between Lily and Orion reminded everyone to care for each other. In every corner of Maplewood, hope was the shining light that warmed the days. Community members shared their own stories of recovery and new beginnings. The simplicity of kindness turned challenges into opportunities. Every person present left with a renewed sense of purpose. The Festival of Hope became a lasting memory that would guide future days. Orion's steady trot continued to inspire those who saw him every morning. Lily's brave heart shone as a beacon of light, reminding all to never give up. As the sun set on that joyful day, the town of Maplewood celebrated a future built on love, hope, and the power of second chances.